Well, when you hear Lincoln Park, you might think of Duluth's craft district and all those new bars and restaurants and breweries.
But it's a very different reality once you get away from West Superior Street and into the actual neighborhood where people live.
Well, there, according to the 2020 census, life expectancy is just 69 years, meaning that 99.5% of Minnesotans can expect to live longer than residents of Lincoln Park.
And now Northern News Now, Sophia Lauber is speaking with community members and advocates to learn why that is and what changes are being made.
Research has been showing that your zip code may be a greater predictor of your health than actually your genetics, which is what we always think about.
And for decades, zip codes have been predicting those in Lincoln Park will live shorter lives than other residents of Duluth. But why and how that is complex. Where you live has countless impacts on your health. It affects food options, access to health care, job opportunities, and housing. Helen Davis has been a resident of Lincoln Park since moving from Chicago in 2016.
On the end at the top, that's my apartment right there. That used to be my apartment right there.
She was priced out of that apartment overlooking Lincoln Park just this past year.
And the prices, it was $9 something, and now it's $1,200 for 2 bedrooms. To live, yes, to live, and I was like, I can't afford that, so I have to leave out of this place that I lived for 8 years.
Housing is consistently named as one of the neighborhood's and Duluth's greatest challenges. But rising costs have a disproportionate impact on Lincoln Park residents.
We know the housing stock is older. We know that a higher percentage of people rent in that neighborhood.
Josh Gorham from St. Louis County Public Health says many houses there are over 100 years old.
Well, we had the 2012 flood. What happened in those places where people live? You know, because when there's flooding, you start to think about things like air quality and mold.
Davis says residents often can't escape poor housing options, even with assistance programs.
You got to take that voucher, live in something that you're not comfortable living in, but you don't have a choice to live in that. And that is not fair to the community, you know, and I feel like things need to change.
Even if a resident's housing is safe, St. Louis County Commissioner Ashley Grimm says the neighborhood's proximity to an overpass affects everyone.
So you'll see higher rates of asthma. It's not an accident that life expectancy goes down when you have all of this air pollution and you don't have a grocery store in the area.
That lack of a grocery store is a problem top of mind for Jody Slick, CEO of Lincoln Park nonprofit Equilibrium 3.
Food access, of course, has been something the neighborhood has been focused on for decades. Ever since the small grocery stores kind of closed in this neighborhood.
It's also a neighborhood where fewer people own cars, making it a challenge to get to a store with healthy options and fresh produce.
Because where do people go right now if they need food? Is there anywhere in the...
Well, you got Quick Trip, gas station on 27th Street.
And of course, everything has a cost, even health.
Some are afraid to go to the hospital because they don't want to get a bill. They already can't afford housing.
Median household income in 2020 for Lincoln Park's lower neighborhood was roughly $30,000 compared to roughly $52,000 for all of Duluth. It's the puzzle piece that ties almost all other factors together.
The cheapest rent are going to be in those homes that are your oldest homes. That then may require more energy. So now you're paying more dollars just to be able to heat your home, which, you know, means you can't afford a car.
Income's impacts are far-reaching, but Gorham says the story doesn't have to end there.
But yeah, income it does correlate with life expectancy, or it has in the past, and I think we asked the question, does it have to?
In partnership with the CDC in St. Louis County, Eco3 released a study inspired by that very question in 2022. But it wasn't just a study, it was an action plan.
Honestly, a pretty report on a shelf doesn't make anybody live longer.
The report did make it off the shelf. It's why residents will soon be here taking food items off the shelves of Eco3's new grocery store opening this summer, aiming to provide food staples to the food desert of Lincoln Park.
It's not the only item from the report that's becoming a reality.
There's a recognition that your health and your longevity is also very, very associated with how connected you are in your community and whether or not you have a sense of purpose.
Eco3 will be opening a community center where people can access a computer, take classes, or simply gather together. While they're leading the charge in many ways, Eco3 isn't working alone. They partner closely with the county, a number of other nonprofits, and the community.
There's great strengths in the neighborhood. That's with the people and their voices and advocating for what they want to see in their community.
And things are happening. just likely not at a rate that will drastically change 2020's data.
The overall health of the neighborhood has not necessarily changed yet.
But Slick isn't discouraged. Life expectancy isn't something that changes overnight. And as Davis sees it, Lincoln Park isn't a community of people dying. Just like any other Duluth neighborhood, it's full of people living.
I looked in this park, see the kids having fun, you know, doing hockey, doing basketball. They having good old picnics, partying, and, you know, music going. And, you know, it's good to see that.
It is that community, Davis says, that Lincoln Park must rely on to move forward. And she has no doubt they will.
It'll get better. It's going to get better. We just got to hold on and keep our faith. It's going to get better. I believe that.
In Duluth, Sophia Lauber, Northern News Now.
In addition to the census, a Bridge to Health survey also collected Lincoln Park health data back in 2020.
It showed residents experience asthma, diabetes, heart trouble, high blood pressure, and other chronic diseases at higher rates than other Minnesota residents.
A 2025 Bridge to Health survey is being planned now, so we should have updated numbers this year.